Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is a highly requested video. I'm going to be doing some drill bit knowledge for you today. So if you are a nail technician or aspiring to be a nail technician, or you do your own nails and you have an e-file, a drill, you need to know about these bits. So this was something that I wish someone would have taught me in the beginning of my career, because the first about 5 to 6 years of my career, I was using the mandrel bit and I wasn't using anything else, just the mandrel. So this is the mandrel bit, and we're actually gonna go over this one last. Now all the other fancy ones we're gonna talk about first, but this one we're gonna talk about last, because this is the one that everybody should have. Everybody should have at least 3 of these. Okay, so these are my 5 favorite drill bits. Now I know there are more than 5 here, but these are 5 kinds. So you have the cone bit, like ice cream cone. You have the cuticle bit, the mandrel. These are carbide bits. This is a coarse carbide and an extra coarse carbide, and this is a safety barrel. But all 3 of these do the same exact job. I'll explain the difference between the 3 of them. And this one is called a typhoon bit, a tornado bit, a hurricane bit. More than likely, if you find this bit, it's named after a natural disaster. So different companies call them different names, but they do the same thing. So we're going to start with this one, the tornado bit, or the typhoon bit. But basically what this does, what you're going to need this for, is if you're doing colored acrylic and it's time for a fill, or you've done some acrylic and it's time to remove it, this takes down the bulk of acrylic very, very quickly. So these gold ones, these are very, very similar. I'm sorry guys, I'm showing you guys some new ones and some old ones, but these are very, very similar, these two. You see one used to have a little blue stripe on it. Different companies have different color stripes. The color of the drill bit stripe literally has nothing to do with the actual bit and its performance. Different companies use different colors, and that's what I have found. I know that some people think blue means a certain thing, red means a certain thing, green. Not true. From my personal experience, different companies just choose different colors. So this is the bit that you would use to take down acrylic, take down the bulk of acrylic, shave that down. And this one is a ceramic version of it. So the ceramic version, I hear a lot of technicians say that it's harder to hit a heat spike with ceramic bits, and that ceramic bits don't need to be replaced as often. I think ceramic bits work just as well as the regular carbide bits. I don't think there's much of a difference. I don't find much of a difference. So when I am doing a set of nails or removing some acrylic, I don't, no one out of the 3 of these is my favorite. I just grab one because I know what job it's supposed to do, and that is remove acrylic. So you have these. This one's a little bit wider. And these are just the carbide versions. They might be silver, doesn't make a difference. The color doesn't make a difference. They might be silver or gold. And then you have this one, the ceramic bit, that will always be white. And I guess you guys would have to try for yourself just to see what you like. A lot of times when it comes to bits, it's just artist preference. It's nail tech preference. There's no one bit that's just more amazing than all the other ones. These are just the 5 bits that I like to always have on hand, because I know that if I have these 5 bits with me, I can literally do any set of nails. So next we're gonna go over to my coarse carbides. So this one, as you can see, is really, really old. But I like this one. I like this one because, well, what these bits are for. Let me tell you what they're for first. It's for gel removal. If you're trying to remove gel, if you're trying to remove hard gel, and these even take acrylic down as well. I don't like to use them for acrylic because I feel like these do result in heat spikes when removing acrylic. So you can only use these for so long before it's time to just switch out to a different bit that's not going to cause heat spikes. But if you're trying to get some acrylic down really quickly and you don't need to be on a nail for a long period of time because it's maybe not that thick, then it is safe to go in with one of these bits. So you have these two. Obviously this one is much more coarse than this one is, and this one's barrel is a lot wider. Now they have small barrels, big barrels, some are even etched and engraved at the top. Mine aren't, but sometimes they say extra coarse or double extra coarse or fine at the top of the drill bit. But these are what you would use to remove gel. It slices through gel so quickly. Now this one I actually use for MMA acrylic removal, and like I've said in my previous videos, MMA acrylic can definitely ruin your nail tech equipment. So as you can see, this bit is not, it doesn't look new, it's not at its prettiest, it's tarnishing, but that's because I use it for MMA soak offs. This helps me remove that MMA much quicker, and you don't want to use this bit for a prolonged amount of time on your client's nails, because it will result in a heat spike. It will burn your client. And this one is just a more fine version. It's still coarse, but it's not as coarse as the other one. And like I said previously, sometimes they're silver, sometimes they're gold. It has nothing to do with the performance. Now, obviously, one is much bigger. The large barrel is much bigger than the small barrel. So there's obviously a difference in the size and the grit, which is, this is extra coarse and this one is coarse. There's a difference in the size and the grit. However, when it comes to the color doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's silver or gold. And then this version of the carbide bit is the ceramic safety bit. So the reason why we call it a safety bit is because it's rounded at the top, which means that when you're going in to the cuticle area, you're not touching skin. You can't touch skin. Got it? Whereas these ones are very sharp on the top. These are not safety bits, and these allow you to get into the cuticle area. But of course, not just with these drill bits, but all drill bits, you want to use them as safely as possible, and you want to be very careful and meticulous when you are using this around your own cuticle area, anyone's cuticle area. So again, these are for gel removal, hard gel removal, MMA removal. It does help bring down the bulk of acrylic, and they come in, you know, different grits and different materials. So this is a ceramic safety bit. Anytime it's round at the top, it's considered a safety bit because round tops cannot get into the cuticle area. Okay, so we're gonna skip the mandrel because I said I was gonna do that last. And we're going to go to everyone's favorite, is the cuticle bit. Now, I've only been using a cuticle bit for about, I've only been using a cuticle bit for about 4 years now, out of my 10-year career. So I don't know if these just were not available and they were new 4 or 5 years ago, or I just wasn't hip. And more than likely, I just wasn't hip. But these are cuticle bits, and these are the bits that you're going to use to remove any dead skin from the cuticle area. Dead skin definitely conflicts with your nail enhancements, so and it also holds oil. So if you leave dead skin on the nail plate in the cuticle area, when it's time for your client's nails to start growing out, that dead skin will be holding on and building up with oils, and it will find its way underneath your enhancement and pop it right off, or cause a lot of lifting. So you want to make sure that you remove any dead skin from your client's nail plates before you get started. That is a part of prep process. Now, I do know a lot of salons, every salon that I've ever worked at charged for cuticle removal, whether it be with nippers or it be with cuticle bits. Every single salon I've been to has charged for cuticle removal, but I feel like that's a part of the service, and I don't think that that should be optional, and I don't think I should give my client a choice. So what I do is I include the price of a cuticle removal into the set, and then that way I don't give my client a choice. I do the cuticle removal regardless, and she has a nice set of nails that last as long as possible, so that when she comes back to me for her fill, I'm not dealing with a whole bunch of lifting, and you know, cuticles get heavy and ugly. So remove them. As a nail technician, I just suggest that you add that to the service and don't give your client an option, because 9 times out of 10, if you ask your client if they want a cuticle removal for an additional $7 or $10, they're probably going to say no, because they don't understand the importance of removing dead skin from their nail plate. So don't give them the option, just throw that in there, just so it makes your job easier and it makes their set last longer. So these are the 3 different cuticle bits that I have. Obviously, this one is a metal one, so it's considered a diamond cuticle bit, and it's got a little ball at the top. And these little ball, you know, the diamond ball at the top, I'm sorry y'all, the diamond ball at the top, they come in different sizes. As you can see, they're kind of a little bit different in sizes with the ceramic bit. But there are some that are triple the size of this, even bigger, and there are some that are even smaller. So the size that you want the diamond ball, the top, to be, that is artist preference as well. I like a small one, honestly, as small as possible, because then I'm really able to get into that cuticle area. I prefer the diamond ball cuticle bits, I prefer the diamond ball cuticle bits over the ceramic ones. I just feel like they do a better job. However, the ceramic ones work just as well. It's like I said, it's artist preference. So you have the ceramic one that's a ball. And remember, like I said, people swear that ceramic bits you just don't get a heat spike with. But also with cuticle bits in general, you don't hit a heat spike at all. It's nearly painless. I call it a cuticle massage because it's literally painless. It does look painful. I know when men watch my videos, they think that the removal process of the cuticles is really, really painful because they see so much skin coming up. But no, it's actually a painless experience, whether you're using the diamond, which is the metal cuticle bit, or the ceramic cuticle bit. Then we have the tapered cuticle bit. Now, out of the ceramic bits, the tapered one is definitely my favorite. It has a much thinner tip, and it definitely gets into the cuticle area, and you don't have to use it at a high speed at all. You don't want to use it at a high speed because you are in the cuticle area, which is very close to living tissue, and you don't want to harm, scratch, burn, rip any living tissue. So be very careful in the cuticle area. But all 3 of these do the same job, and whichever one you choose and whichever one you like, it's definitely up to you. It's artist preference. In most of my videos, you guys see me using this one because most of the time I have trained my clients' cuticle area to not grow back so thick, and it's because of constant maintenance. But when you have a client whose cuticles aren't very thick but still need to be removed, this to me is the most efficient, quick way to do it. But again, artist preference. But you want to make sure you check out all 3 of these. Even if you find cuticle bits that are smaller, more tapered, or thicker, try different cuticle bits. Different clients, different bits may work for different clients. So the cuticle bit is a client favorite, a nail tech favorite. But my personal favorite is the comb bit. and that's cone, like ice cream cone. And these two are nearly identical. Yeah, these two are pretty identical. And then obviously this one is not. So my first cone bit I discovered while working in a pretty high-end salon, and I used it because I was having a hard time getting the cuticle area flush to the nail. So when I tried it, mine was silver, of course. Again, the color has nothing to do with the performance, but mine was silver, and it definitely helped me to really get into the cuticle area and blend and seal it. So what you want to strive for as an artist, as a nail technician, is you want to make sure you strive for perfect cuticles. And sometimes we get our cuticle area too thick, or maybe you'll get some acrylic flooded into the cuticle area, or even gel flooded into the cuticle area. This is the bit that you would need to use to help you remove any of that excess product so that you can seal and blend the cuticle area. Obviously, one is more tapered than the other. This one is a lot more coarse, so you would use this one for sets where you really flooded the cuticle, or you really need the cuticle to be a lot lower than you have applied it. So you would use something like this. It's a little bit more coarse, and it's also more narrow, so you can really get into the cuticle area without harming your client. And then this would be the bit that, me personally, sometimes I don't need to go over my cuticle area, but because I'm just so anal and I stick to my steps, I always do the cuticle area regardless if it needs to be done or not. And if I feel like the cuticle area is decent, then I go in with the wider bit. Now, I've seen this bit referred to as an umbrella bit. So if you're looking for a bit and you can't find it under cone, maybe try umbrella. Like I said in the beginning, literally different companies call their bits different things, but they do the same thing. You just have to know enough knowledge on what they look like so that you can determine for yourself if you want to purchase it or what you need it for or don't need it for. But I always keep a cone bit. I always use my cone bit. It is my absolute favorite bit because I feel like it really puts the finishing touches on a nice set of nails. So cone bit, my favorite. See a wider one, it may be called an umbrella bit. And then I have a more tapered one, which I call the tapered cone bit. Okay, so the fifth bit that I'm going to show you, and unfortunately I don't have a picture of a different kind. Well, I have a picture of a different kind, but I don't have a different kind with me right now. These are the same ones that come in all of your e-files. If you purchase an e-file, 9 times out of 10 it's going to come with a mandrel bit already. And I always say keep about 2 to 3 with them, 2 to 3 of them with you at all times, because if you drop your handpiece on your e-file and this is in it, it's very, very easy to bend or damage, and it's very hard to see that it's bent and damaged, and it will definitely slow your time down. If it's bent, it won't work correctly, and you may not even tell the difference on a busy day at the salon, and it will definitely slow your drill down. So make sure that you have a few of these and you rotate them out as well. I would say every 3 to 6 months, just get 3 more. Literally, I pay 50 cents for these, so I'm pretty sure they're 50 cents to $1 anywhere. This is going to be the least expensive drill bit that you're ever going to purchase. But you need it. So like I said earlier, I use this drill bit only. None of these other cool ones. I use this one only for about 6 years straight. I know, terrible. But that's because I didn't have drill bit knowledge, and I didn't know that there were so many other drill bits that could help me with my job. So this is the mandrel bit, and the mandrel bit holds sanding bands. So each sanding band does something different. So you have your fine sanding bands. Now again, the color does not matter. Different companies have different colors. It's up to you to make sure that the product that you're looking for is what you need. So this is a fine sanding band, and this is for natural nails. You want to use this on natural nails because it's very, very fine, and it doesn't pick up a lot of product, and it doesn't ruin and overfoul a client's natural nails. So this is what a fine sanding band is for. Then you have your medium sanding band. This is, since it's gray, it's called a zebra sanding band. Some zebra sanding bands actually have like stripes. They're actually gray and they have stripes. But this one obviously does not. But this is a zebra sanding band, and this is a medium grit. And so I use this to blend over the surface of each nail to create a smooth surface after maybe I've roughed up my extension from shaping. So then I go back in with my medium sanding band. This is a zebra sanding band. They're all medium grit sanding bands are not zebra sanding bands. And there are some zebra sanding bands that are coarse, extra coarse, and fine. I prefer zebra ones because they're very, very similar to a hand file, but it's definitely up to you. Then this is the extra coarse sanding band, and you guys see me use this in every set. I use this for the shaping process. If you turn your e-file up high enough at a safe level, still at a safe level, you turn your e-file up and you use this, and this will help you shape. It will do a lot of the shaping for you. Or if you are removing acrylic and you're just removing that top layer so that you can get started on a soak off, this is the perfect sanding band. But be very, very cautious when using this because since it's so coarse, it is very dangerous and it hurts very bad, and it can cause heat spikes fairly easily. So you want to be very, very gentle and careful with this drill bit, the sanding bands. Because it's so coarse, you don't need to use a lot of pressure when you're using it. So if you're using your drill on a higher setting at a higher RPM, and then you want to put down less pressure, because again, this is very, very coarse and could hurt you or your client. So normally sanding bands don't have the grit on them. So normally they just come in fine, medium, coarse, extra coarse. But recently I've been purchasing from different companies, and I'm seeing that they actually do put the number grits on the sanding bands. So I'm going to show you some packaging. And that's how you place the sanding bands on. And here in California, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal in all 50 states, but in California, it is illegal to reuse a sanding band. It is illegal to use this on one client and then take it back out and use it on another. Every single sanding band needs to be disposed of after use. Every single time. Pull out a new one for every client. If you have to use 4, 5, 6 on a client, fine, but you never ever reuse a sanding band, just like you never reuse a file. That's so important, you guys. Do not reuse sanding bands, even on yourself. Just throw it away, y'all. They come in packs of 300, they come in packs of 5,000, they come in packs of 100. They're very, very inexpensive. So please do not reuse sanding bands. Use it. Even after I'm done with this video, I'm going to throw these away. I've touched them, they're contaminated, they've been out. I do not reuse sanding bands. It's so important, guys. So I want to show you different packaging. So I just got some sanding bands from Macart, and it says number 80, which is 80 grit, and that's the brown one. 80 grit. And then you have the zebra, which is the medium one, 150. And then 240, which is the black one, which is more fine. Okay guys, lesson time. So I know grit is sometimes hard to understand, so this is how I teach my students. And I'm going to draw the little diagram and everything. Okay. So grit, we have these different grits. Now, these are not the only grits. This is 80. There's 100. You can get 120. And there's 150. You can get 180. You can get 200. You can get 240, right? These are not the only ones, these three. There are more in between them. When I'm using my hand file is an 8080. These hand files are from Carlash. And there are also like Beauty Secrets files that are 180/100. That's the grit, guys. So 8080. Allegedly, this is the same grit as this. I don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong. Different companies do their grit in different ways, but I'm going to show you the diagram that helps my students understand grit. So we're going to unroll a sanding band, right? Let's unroll these sanding bands. I brought a marker out. So 80 grit, let's pretend we're doing 80 different bumps on this, right? This is an 80 grit. Oh, you see those little bumps, all those little mountains? Let's just say there's 80 of those. And then we have 150. Now let's say we have 150. See that? Went from 80 to 150. 150 little bumps on this. Let's just say there's really not. Y'all don't. Let's just say there's 150 bumps on this. And then 240, right? So now let's do 240, which means they're all super close together because all the sanding bands are the same size. Okay, boom. So that will help you understand when the bumps are spaced out, it's a more coarse grit. The lower the number, the lower amount of mountains there are. These mountains are very defined because there's not that many mountains on it. And there's almost double the amount of mountains on this one. I was calling them bumps earlier. And then this is triple from this one. And since there's so many more bumps, they're obviously closer together, which makes it a lot more fine, makes it a lot like a buffer. So I really hope you guys understood that. Now, when my students still don't understand, because I know I kind of said that all wonky, when my students still don't understand, I tell them think of grit like this. All right, you see that? You guys know that's a cactus. You guys know that's a cactus, right? Okay, so this cactus has a billion tiny little, okay? So we'll call that a 240 grit because it's a cactus and there's 240 little spines on it. Then I'm gonna draw this. I know that looks crazy, but it's a bat. And it's like a Viking bat. okay? And then we'll call that 80 grit because it has like less than triple what this one has. So if I hit you with this, right? I hit you with this bat, it's really, really gonna hurt, right? Obviously, if I hit you with the cactus, it's gonna hurt too. But which one do you think is gonna hurt more? I feel like the bat would hurt a lot more than the cactus because the cactus has all these tiny, close together pricklies, and yeah, they still hurt, but those little tiny pricklies that are all close together don't have anything on this bat with this super sharp, spaced out, giant spikes on them. So that's how I teach my students grit. So if that's another visual representation of what I'm talking about, and I really hope you guys got it because I know that I explain it weird, but that's the way that I remember it, and it's helped a lot of my students. So I hope that it helps you as well. I'm gonna have to get one of the videos from my classes that I'm actually teaching this, and I actually teach it very thoroughly and better explained. So sorry y'all, but there goes my bit knowledge for you guys. Most of the times bits just say extra coarse, medium, and fine. But nowadays it looks like they're actually specifying the grit. Now I don't really agree that the grit is true, but that's just me. And then here's another brand that I purchased from Amazon, and these are medium sanding bands, zebra sanding bands. And these are a lot more similar to the ones that I said earlier. They look like they actually have stripes on them like a zebra. These are true zebra sanding bands. Oops. Yeah, see. Oops. So these are, I'm sorry guys, I don't know what brand they are, and I know that I spilled something on them, but these are medium grit, as you can see, and then 150. I know it's kind of rubbed off, but 150. So same thing that these people are saying, 150. They're basically saying these are the same thing. And I do agree that these are the same thing, but I personally like the actual zebra sanding bands. I don't know what the heck this is, but I actually like the real zebra sanding bands. Oh, there you go. It looks like I'm talking too much, so I'm just dropping stuff all over the place. But if you want to clean your drill bits, make sure that you are cleaning them in the proper hospital grade solution. So if you're using barbicide, which is most common, make sure that you are also soaking your bits between clients. Always have multiple bits so that while a bit set is soaking, you could be using another one and you don't have to wait for it to finish being disinfected and sanitized all the way before you start on another client. You just start on another client with a fresh, clean set. So make sure that you have multiple ones. So I hope that that helped you guys. I know this video is a little lengthy and I know that I messed up a lot, but normally I do a voiceover, so when I mess up I just stop, rewind, or exit out and start again. But I'm doing this one in real time because it's kind of easy for me to let you guys know about your drill bits. So there goes some drill bit knowledge, some sanding band knowledge, and I hope I really helped you. Make sure you let me know what you feel about the video, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys. God bless. Check us out on ctones.com. That's where I get all of my wonderful bits and stuff from, and my bit set holder. Check us out on Ctones. God bless you guys.